Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to episode 104 of the Take One podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and this episode we got a lot to get into. Actually, it's not really too much, but a lot within those little bit of subjects and whatnot. I was going to put this episode out a little bit earlier this week, but I had some things come up, and plus I get hit suddenly with the flu yesterday that I'm still getting over with, but I'm well enough to put this episode out. So we're gonna get into basically some trailer review today, some stuff that Leslie Jones has said on a tweet. And then we're gonna get into the box office, and I'm gonna touch a little bit on the Oscar nominees and everything else. But just to jump right into things, let's go ahead and talk about the first thing on our tray of things to devour, which is trailer reviews. And John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum had dropped last week, and I gotta say that this trailer was badass. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like the second John trailer. Wow. Didn't like the second John Wick movie as compared to the first one. I actually liked it. I wouldn't even I would have to literally go back and watch both of them, but I don't think it was like a drop off. I really don't. But like I said, I'll have to go back and check them out. But I like the way it ended and the way it led into like what we're gonna get in John Wick, Chapter 3. But everything in this trailer shows it is gonna be an awesome movie. It looks like they went up a scale as far as the action and stuff. Man, this is all of what you would expect from John Wick. Ridiculousness. Just ridiculousness. One of the things in the trailers, you see guys on motorcycles with swords chasing after John Wick. You got John Wick getting shot at but holding up a guy, and then he throws something at him. It's craziness. And then you got the beautiful Halle Berry, who is accompanying him more likely as an ally, the only ally, because he has been excommunicated from the Continental from the last film. And this is spoilers. If you haven't seen John Wick 2 or whatever, then yeah, this is going to be spoilers. Like the whole trailer for John Wick 3 is a spoiler to John Wick 2. So if you haven't seen it, then yeah, you need to go ahead and do that. But basically, it looks awesome. It looks like they haven't missed a step as far as like the gun fu, as they call it, up in the John Wick movies, and just how it looks. You got John Wick taking a book and putting it in somebody's mouth and just cramming it. It seemed like it's gonna be some gory, some like gruesome, brutal deaths that are gonna happen in this movie. And this is one of those times where it's like, yeah, John Wick is on a lam. Yeah, he doesn't have any other stuff that, everybody else has, and everybody is hunting him down for what? I think it was like the 14 million bounty that's been placed on his head. John Wick has nothing to lose. Y'all basically hype him up as a guy who is the guy that you call to kill the boogeyman. Okay, that was the thing, Liz. You heard of the boogeyman? Well, this is the guy that you send to kill the boogeyman. So that's basically there's basically a pedestal, and you're placing him above that pedestal. That's basically what it is. So when you have a guy that you're placed above that pedestal, give him nothing to lose, and putting his back against the wall, what do you think he's gonna do? You know what? I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he just murdered the whole Continental. Just murder everybody up in there. I mean, of course, he's going to have some struggles or whatever. I mean, he's not Superman or whatnot, but I feel like he's going to run through everybody. But I don't know. This is my guess. And it just popped up in my head. I feel like this is the end of the John Wick franchise. I feel that they're going to continue things with the Continental series and maybe get like characters from there. Maybe, keep it, some of the characters in the series, but maybe give certain characters, their own movie or whatever. So you might have Joshua, something like that. I don't know. Just know what the name. But I feel like at the end of this movie, John Wick is going to die. I feel like he's going to end up getting killed. And I mean, I will be okay with that. As well as it is the noblest end in history. Just like Okoye said up in, Avengers Infinity War. I feel like this is gonna be John Wick's, I guess swan song. But I mean, I will be surprised if he does live this. I will be surprised, but then I wouldn't be surprised, whatever. You want to have a good ending, and I feel like if they do it right, it still will be a good ending, even if he does die at the end. But looking at this trailer, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I don't know how they're gonna top themselves, but it looks like they're pulling out all the stops. You got all these people coming after John Wick, wanting to kill him, wanting that bounty, and I feel like it's gonna be an all-out warfare, and John Wick is gonna give them hell before he gives them his life. But yeah, I really like the trailer. I love it. I love it. I love it, and I cannot wait for this to happen. And so, with that said, let's get into the next thing, which is, I guess you can call it movie news. And it's talking, I'm going to get into the comments that Leslie Jones put out as regarding to the newest Ghostbuster, or the announcement to the newest Ghostbuster movie that will continue the story. So, as of recently, it was announced that they are developing a script and working on a third movie into the Ghostbuster franchise. And so Leslie Jones, the star of the 2016 reboot of the Ghostbusters, all women, she came out on Twitter, and I don't have the exact quotes in front of me, but just to sum it all up, is that she felt like it was, in her own words, a dick move for them to do that, to basically kind of disregard what they did, making it seem like what they did was nothing, and just do away with it and just continue on with what they were doing. And she felt insulted and everything else about it. And you know what, I feel a certain way about it. I guess you can look at it from two angles. You can look at it as like, you can feel her frustration. Like, this is a role that she probably put a lot into it. She worked hard into it because of just the whole all female things and the way females are being looked at as far as entertainment and like, Hollywood and everything else. And for them to do a movie like that with all female leads and stuff, and, it was a big thing for her, more than likely, and a big thing for a lot of girls who would go there watching it, like little girls or whatever, and just, kind of look up to it, like, oh, I could do this, blah, blah. And, a lot of the female cast put a lot into the roles or whatnot. And for me, the movie was good. For me, I didn't hate it like everyone else. I thought it was good. I found a lot of enjoyment out of it. I felt that they did a lot of things better in that movie than they did in the original Ghostbusters movie. And so, when it comes down to it, you gotta look on the other side. As a movie, a movie is made to make money. And when the movie doesn't make money, there's nothing more we can do with that, movie. As a movie studio, if your movie loses you money, there's no continuing from that. There is no continuing from that. There is no sequel. There is no spinoff from that. The movie lost the studio money. The movie lost Sony money. And it's kind of is on their part, but not on their part. It's a lot of things that movie could have been done differently as a movie, and just a lot of things as far as the marketing. Like, the marketing could have been way better. I felt like this movie, in the way it was presented, it should have been a spinoff, a continuation of the original franchise. And that probably would have been more profitable, because you would have had the best of both worlds. You would have had a new cast, plus you would have had the nostalgia with bringing the old, actors on to the movie, and not have just throwaway cameos of other characters and stuff in the movie. And plus, it would have been good when them handing off the torch or whatnot. That would have been better. But then a lot of it is kind of like out of their control, which, you got people just downing it and, just hating it before they even saw the movie just because it was female. Now, it was a lot of backlash that they got off of the movie even before the movie dropped, which wasn't, warranted at all. Wasn't at all warranted. But when you look at her comments, I understand her frustration, but she should have took some time to think about it before going down on social media and voicing her frustration, because it's like you're mad at a studio who, this is their property. This isn't your property. This isn't your baby. You didn't come up with Ghostbusters or anything, so they can do anything they want with it. If they want to do an all Asian or all African American, Ghostbusters, if they want to just say, "Oh yeah, nah, we don't know about the 2016 one, like that doesn't exist." What? Who's starting that? They could do whatever they want with that. It's their movie. It's their movie. You worked hard on it, but it's their movie, so they can do whatever they want to. They can continue it, or they can just retcon it. Like, that didn't happen, so we're gonna continue with the original, and that's what they're doing. But it's nothing to, cast out against them. It's basically, it's doing what makes money, nostalgia. A lot of people are more familiar with the older IP. IP period, but the older characters and stories and stuff. They, are more, familiar with that. So to bring that back to now, and seeing where the characters are at now, and then maybe bring some new faces on, I don't see any problem with it. And she's getting mad at the point that they're doing away with what they did in 2016 and what they did didn't matter and blah, blah, blah. Ain't that what y'all movie did? Think about it. It's not a sequel. Y'all movie was not a sequel. Y'all movie was a reboot. So literally, you're doing away with what the other two movies did, and you're creating a new. Literally, that's exactly what you're doing. So you're mad because they're doing exactly what you guys are doing. You didn't stand up saying like, nah, I'm not gonna do this because it's erasing the old Ghostbusters. No, you didn't do that before signing on to do that movie. Now you want to get mad? Like, it really seems, no, you gotta think reasonable with that. Like, the best thing I think that she should have done was, basically just congratulate them. Just be like, yo, I hear that they're doing a new Ghostbusters movie. Just good. Like, I hope y'all make it good, whatever. Give good vibes. Send good vibes toward that way. Because now you're looking bitter. Now you're looking like a person that is going to voice don't get me wrong. Voicing your frustrations and everything else, that is the thing that a lot of people should do. But there are times where you can do it, and then times where you should just kind of like, either not say nothing or just think about what you're saying. Because you're in an industry where, and she brung the whole sexism about the females and feminine, which I'm going to touch on a little bit. She's bringing up that, women having a hard time, as far as Hollywood and everything else, which as of recently, that hasn't been a problem. Come on, Wonder Woman, but you're making yourself look unappealing to movie studios that see that if things don't go out in your favor, you're going to jump on social media and just bash whatever. You're going to bash this, bash that. You're making yourself look unappealing. And in an industry where it is hard for females to get leading roles and, to break out and everything else, and, it's not as hard as it used to be, but it is getting a little bit easier because a lot of people just want change or whatnot. But you're making yourself, you as an actress that is trying to, break barriers and do something that, be a part of, women getting more roles, getting better roles, getting, more freedom to do whatever. you making that look bad, you know. And like I said, you know, a lot of times you don't need to, you know, you stand up for what you believe, but at the same time, you got to think about what you say, because what you say, it may not be the right, you know, thing to say at that right time, you know. So I feel where she's coming from. I feel her frustration, but if you sit back and think about it, it's like, no, you may have needed to take a different course of just what you needed to say and how you needed to say it. And even she went back online and, you know, and basically just said that, yeah, she could have worded it differently. And it's like, that's cool. Yeah, but you didn't. You know, you said it, and then it was like she apologized for just how she said it. But I mean, yeah, you know, she still believes in it, and that's cool. But it's not all about sexism. It's not all about just because there were females and this and that. It's like, it's all about money at the end of the day. You are in this industry to make money. You tell jokes, you're in movies and shows to make money. The people that work at these studios, Sony, is in there to make money. If your movie didn't make them money and lost them money, they're not about to do anything with you guys. They're not about to continue it. No matter how much the studio heads and exec might love that movie and don't understand why it, you know, did as bad as it did, they can't do anything with it, because if they make a sequel, who's to say that it won't do worse than that? You know? There's certain things you gotta think about, especially being a public figure and a person that a lot of, you know, young girls look up to. You know, it's just, you're gonna make it. Keep doing stuff like this, jumping on social media and voicing your opinion in this type of form. A lot of times, like I said, it's good, and a lot of times it's not. This was one of those times where you should have just basically just thought about what you was going to say and worded it in this type of way to where you're not sounding bitter. Because at this point, you having like studio execs look at it like, I don't know if I want to work with this person because this and that. I don't know. But that's just my opinion on it. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just my opinion. I feel like, yeah, she should have done it differently. But with that out the way, let's go ahead and jump right into the box office segment. And how I usually do this is that I talk about my last week's predictions for this past weekend, what made the top 5 at the box office, what movies are coming out this weekend, and then give my predictions for this coming weekend. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So my predictions for last weekend, which I was slightly off, was that Glass was going to come in at number 1, The Upside at number 2, Aquaman at number 3, A Dog's Way Home at number 4, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is going to be at number 5. So I was right. Glass did come in at number 1 with a little bit over 40 million. The Upside came in at number 2 with 15. Aquaman came in at number 3 with 10.1 million. And then we got Dragon Ball Super Broly over the weekend did 9.8 million, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse took the number 5 spot over the weekend with 7.5 million. What stands out about that to me? Let me tell you. Dragon Ball Z Broly. That one I did not, and I think I even said it up in the last podcast. I didn't think that was going to even make the top 5. And they ended up doing it. And not only that, but coming in number 3. Or not number 3, number 4. And to me, that is surprising because even it was good, but I didn't think it was like a type of movie where it had like a lot of, I mean, I know Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, or whatever you want to, I know a lot of people still call it Dragon Ball Z, has a lot of ridiculous fans around the world. You know, just a ridiculous amount of fans. I am including into that. I'm not a hardcore fan, but I didn't think it was going to be crazy, but I should have known after, you know, going to it. Now, I seen this last week. I'm going to go see it again tonight at the time that I'm recording this or whatnot. And it was like, I kid you not. I don't know if I mentioned this on the other podcast, but when I was getting the tickets, doing it off of Atom tickets, because that's where I get most of my stuff or whatever. If I'm pre-ordering, I get it off Atom app or whatever. Highly recommend it. Grab it or download it or whatnot. But I was looking at it, and they had 3 screenings, 7, 8, 9. I think it was like maybe Monday or Tuesday, because it came out on Wednesday. And I'm looking at it, and like by like Monday, 7 and 9 were all gone. Like they were sold out. So the only ones that was there was 8. So I'm like, okay, grab the 8 o'clock one. Made sure I did that. And like literally, like I think it was the day of, they had a 7:31, and that was sold out immediately. So I'm like, man, this must be ridiculous. So I go there, going to go see the movie, and the parking lot is full. I mean full, like, you know, like a big movie, like Avengers type movie. That's how full it was. Go up in the movie theater, it was a lot of people there, full. Went up in the auditorium, almost literally every seat was packed. I say it probably was like about maybe 5, maybe a little bit more than that seats that was not full. All of the seats was just like the screening was jam packed, and I can imagine that's how it was for every other screening for that day at that theater. One of the guys I work with told me that at his theater they had people standing up. I mean, they had the fire hazard thing going on, but it was so many seats that it was overbooked that they had people standing up throughout the whole film. And I'm just like, that is crazy to me. But hey, I mean, that's what really stands out to me, is that it did make it into the top 10. I mean, the top 5 or whatnot. And I was just taken back by it. I'm like, man, this movie. But it actually is pretty good. If you haven't seen it and you're a Dragon Ball Super fan and you've been wanting to see this and you haven't got a chance to see it, go check it out. It is good. I am going to be putting out my review this week. I still got to put out my glass review or whatnot. But yes, it is really good. But really, that's kind of like the only thing that stood out to me. A Dog's Way Home, I heard so much about that. I thought that was going to make it up in the top 5, but it ended up not making it. It came in at number 6 or whatnot. And another thing that stands out to me is that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is still in the top 5, as well as Aquaman is still in the top 5 and still thriving. I think it's going to be the swan song for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse this coming weekend. I'd be surprised if it is still up in the top 5. But one thing that I have noticed throughout the weeks is that Bumblebee, I don't know, like Bumblebee I thought would still be in the running with Aquaman and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but yeah, like Bumblebee is kind of like absent out of this. I'm pretty like, it's still up in, you know, still making money in the box office, still in theaters, but I've noticed that even with the good, you know, scores that it's been getting online, and a lot of people have been loving it, that it's been kind of fading out, you know, as far as, you know, the theaters go, because I don't even think it's playing at theaters near me. Aquaman and Spider-Man and certain movies that's been up in like, that came out in December around the same time that Bumblebee did, are still in theaters around me. But Bumblebee, I noticed, isn't, you know, in that list of movies that are still in theaters. And it's not even in the top 5 as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is, and Aquaman. And I just found that so weird, especially with it being praised like it was. You would think it would be still in the top 5, and it's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But, I mean, yeah, that's just one of the other things that stood out to me. And I mean, it did a decent amount of money. I mean, domestically it's 117 million. Worldwide it's 420 million, and that's off of a $135 million budget. So I mean, it's doing reasonably good. I'm just surprised that it's not, you know, really playing any places like, you know, not playing like the other movies are. And matter of fact, looking at Adam at one of the theaters near me, yeah, like Bumblebee is not up in here. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, even the Mule is still there. Creed 2, Go figure. But yeah, like that's actually one of the things that just stood out to me, and I felt that was just so weird, especially with the praise that it got and everything else. But yeah, that will wrap up this episode. I was gonna add on my reaction to the Oscar nominees and stuff, but in doing so, I realized that it's going to take up a lot of time, that I couldn't get through it as quick as I wanted to. So I'm going to do a separate video that's going to be talking about that. Maybe may end up doing another episode of the Take One podcast this week and just cover that, because looking at the nominees, I'm going to have to spend some more time on that. But yeah, that would end this episode of the Take One podcast. I would like to thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.